Hello everyone, so today you will need a sheet of paper, a ruler if you have one. If you don't have a ruler, don't worry, you can use the edge of a sheet of paper or even the edge of a book. Whatever you have handy to make some straight lines. So today we talked about the Renaissance and Leonardo da Vinci. We looked at one of his paintings called The Last Supper and discussed how he used one-point perspective, which means all of the lines are vanishing into one point, which is called the vanishing point. So today we are going to create our very own work of art with a vanishing point. We get to decide where this point goes on our paper. So I just drew a little dot kind of off to the right side of my page. You can draw your vanishing point wherever you would like. Next step is to draw some geometric shapes. This is when your ruler or the edge of your second sheet of paper will come in handy to make some nice straight lines. One tip for this part is to make sure you're spacing out your geometric shapes. Don't put too many on your page, otherwise it's going to get super challenging. So after we have all of our shapes on our paper, we're going to take a look at one of our shapes. I'm going to take a look at this square I made. So here we have 4 corners in my square, and we need to connect each corner to that vanishing point. So I'm going to carefully line up my ruler to that very far point on my square, and then the other end of my ruler to my vanishing point. And I'm lightly drawing a line from that point to my vanishing point. Make sure you're taking your time and you're lining up your ruler or your sheet of paper to each corner of your shape. Awesome. Now when we pull our piece of paper or our ruler away, we see how the shape looks like it's spurting out of that central point, that vanishing point. So we're going to use the same exact method on each of our shapes. So we're carefully finding each corner on our shape, and we're drawing a line connecting that corner to our vanishing point. Okay, and here we get to something a little bit tricky that may happen to you, so I just want you to pay extra close attention to this. See how one of my lines of my triangle's vanishing point overlapped with my rectangle? That is completely okay for now. Just ignore it and keep drawing your lines. So now I'm moving on to the vanishing lines from my rectangle. I'm going to show you how we're kind of going to fix this little challenge in a moment. So once we get each of our corners of our rectangle to our vanishing point, I want this rectangle to look like it's on top of this triangle. So this is a very simple fix. All we need to do is erase that little line of our triangle. Perfect. Look at that. Now it looks like my rectangle is right laying on top of my triangle. So if you come across that little challenge during class, make sure you let me know and I'll help you and we can figure out what you need to erase. All right, everyone, so have a good time practicing your one-point perspective. You do not need to use the same shapes I have. You can use whichever ones you're thinking of. There are a bunch of geometric shapes out there. Another suggestion I'm going to make is keep your shapes down to about 4 or 5. If you start making more than 5 shapes, you may come across that challenge I showed you earlier more than once. You might have a few of those tricky situations. If you're down for a challenge, you can definitely do more than 5 shapes, but I would keep it to 4 or 5.